Okay, for this video I want to go through a sample Georgia Form 500, which is an individual income tax return. And for this example, we're going to look at a return for a non-resident. So our taxpayer here, Jacob, is a resident of Florida, so non-resident of Georgia, but he has a Georgia rental property that creates Georgia source income where he needs to file this return. So we'll go through the full Georgia Form 500 here, and we also have the Georgia form instructions, and we'll need to reference these instructions to find the tax tables to calculate the amount of tax he owes on that net Georgia source income. And then lastly, you do have one slide here covering some background on the fact pattern and then some notes on Georgia non-resident return. So starting with the fact payer here, so our taxpayer Jacob is a single filing taxpayer and a full-time resident of Florida. He works full-time down there and he earns $120,500 for the year as compensation. And he also has some investment income here. He's got a bank account that paid out interest of $652. He's got a brokerage account with some dividend income, capital gain distributions, and he's also invested in a Florida municipal bond, and he received the municipal interest income of $85 during the year. And then the rental property he has in Atlanta. So he purchased the rental property during the year, rented it to a tenant, paid $225 for the property, upgraded the appliances for $4,000, and then placed the property into service and rented it on April 1st. Now, the new appliances qualify as personal property, and so they're going to be eligible for bonus depreciation, right, which is 100% for 2022. And this is important to highlight because what we'll see is Georgia does not follow the 100% bonus depreciation rules, so we're going to have an adjustment made from federal to state for that bonus depreciation. Now, non-residents of Georgia generally have to file the Form 500 and Schedule 3, which is for part year and non-residents. That's Schedule 3. We'll have a look at that as well. And you're going to have to file this if you have income from Georgia sources, right? So that's what we're going to see here for our taxpayer. Now, municipal bond interest is exempt from federal income taxes, but it could be taxable in your state of residence. So Georgia is one of these states where it will tax out-of-state municipal interest, but that would only apply if you are a resident. So we're going to see an adjustment made in this case, but the Florida municipal bond interest won't be taxable to Georgia, but we still need to account for it when we refigure our Georgia adjusted gross income. Now, deductions that Jacob's going to be able to take here. So residents get the standard deduction, $5,400 for a single filer. You get personal exemptions, $2,700 a person. Now we're going to be able to claim these, but it's going to be a reduced amount. So what we'll see is that you have to reduce the amount of these deductions by the ratio of your Georgia source income to total. We'll have a look at that calculation later. And then just to restate what I highlighted earlier about the bonus depreciation, right? So Georgia doesn't follow these federal bonus depreciation rules, so you got to have an adjustment to add back the bonus depreciation as if it didn't happen, and then deduct the amount of depreciation that would have been allowed if you elected out of it. So what is the regular depreciation rate that you can use? So let's have a look at the federal return first, and then we can get into the state return. So this is Jacob's federal Form 1040, and you're going to want the federal return done first because Georgia, like a lot of states, uses your adjusted gross income as the starting point, right? So you've got to figure out, okay, what is all the income I'm reporting for federal purposes, and then you report the Georgia source piece and then any adjustments that are required. So Jacob's got his wages up here, the federal wages. All of that's going to be just Florida source because that's where he lives and works. He's got the investment income here, so taxable interest income. $85 of Florida municipal bond interest is tax-exempt interest for federal purposes. And he's got the dividend income down here on lines 3A and 3B, capital gain distributions of $200. And we can see here the other income is related to the rental property. So if we have a look at the rental property here, So Jacob is reporting the address of the property in Atlanta, the fair rental days, and then recorded the rents and expenses that are permitted for federal tax purposes, right? So we can see down here the net income resulting from the rental property is $866, and that is including the bonus depreciation, which is reported on the 4562. So if we look at the 4562, we can see the depreciation of the building, right? Residential rental property depreciated over 27 and a half years. And we're taking the special depreciation allowance, the bonus depreciation on line 14 for that $4,000 worth of new appliances. All right. So that's the total depreciation that we're claiming for federal purposes. And what we'll see is an adjustment for the bonus at the Georgia state level. So let's have a look at the GA 500 here. So we've got the calendar year as the taxpayer's year, right? Individuals generally just using the calendar year. So Jan 1 through December 31st. We've inputted his driver's license information. So state of Florida issued the ID and the driver's license number. Jacob taxpayer, middle initial, and his social security number. And then the contact address, his mailing address in Florida. Now, residency status on line 4. He's marked 3 for non-resident, so you have 1 for full year, 2 for part year, 3 for a non-resident, and his filing status on line 5 is A, which means he's a single filing taxpayer, and the number of exemptions he's going to get is just 1, right? So 6A is marked X, and 6C is populated with just 1 exemption. Now he has no dependents, so we've left that blank, and now into the numbers on the return. So line 8, federal AGI, coming from the federal form 1040, $123,848. So we can find that here, page 1, line 11, his AGI, $123,848. And for non-resident returns, you do not complete lines 9 through 14 on this page, right? Resident returns, you would complete these line items. For non-resident returns, we do not populate these fields, and we have to go to the 500 NR, which is the Schedule 3. So if I jump down to Schedule 3 here, this is completed by part-year residents and non-year residents. And it does remind us here, right? Do not use lines 9 through 14 of pages 2 and 3 of the Form 500. We use this worksheet here. So the worksheet is 3 separate columns. So federal income column on the left-hand side, column A. The middle column is income that's not going to be taxable to Georgia. And then the far right-hand column, C, is Georgia income. Now, column A here should be completed as if you were a Georgia resident. And so why is that important? Well, you're reporting all of your income, right, from all sources, and you're making adjustments as required under Georgia law. So we have the wages, the interest and dividend income, the other income or loss, that's the capital gains, and the rental property income. And then we have the total income here, $123,848. Now, the schedule of adjustments on Schedule 1, we can see we've got $3,285 there. So let's have a look at Schedule 1 and see how we arrived at these numbers. So if I jump to Schedule 1, right, this is where we report our adjustments to income. It's separated into additions to income and then subtractions from income. And so additions to income include interest on non-Georgia municipal and state bonds. So we had that Florida municipal bond interest, which is not subject to federal income taxes, but it is subject to state income taxes if we were a Georgia resident, right? So we've added the $85 there, and then now we have the depreciation adjustment. So we are adding back the depreciation because it was bonus depreciation. So we've included an addition of $4,000. We've effectively reversed all of it. And then now in the subtraction to income, we have recorded the amount of depreciation that would be allowed for Georgia purposes. So line 12, we have the depreciation, and it would have been $800. So if we elected out a bonus depreciation, we just used the regular Maker's 5-year tables, we would have $800 of depreciation for the first year. So the net effect here is an increase in income of $3,285, right? So that's the reversal of the bonus, subtracting the regular depreciation that's allowed, and having the addition for the Florida municipal bond interest. So when we go back to Schedule 3, we put the total adjustments there, $3,285. And so now our adjusted Georgia income is $127,133. Now, once column A is done, then we can start to populate columns B and C. So column C is going to be income that is just from the rental property, right? All those items attributed to the rental property, because none of the other income is going to be taxable in Georgia. So for example, if we look at line 1, all the wages are going to be not taxable to Georgia, and so the Georgia income column C is blank, right? It's a 0. The only items that are populated here, the $866 of net income from the rental property, and then we have the adjustments related to the depreciation. So the $3,200 increase, that's the $4,000 adjustment upwards for bonus, and then subtracting the $800 of actual depreciation you can claim. So our adjusted gross income from Georgia sources is $4,066. All right. So now that's important because we now need to figure out, well, what is the ratio of that adjusted gross income to the total? And that's what we use to prorate the amount of deductions that we're going to be able to claim. So on line 9 here, the ratio, it's asking us divide line 8, column C, by line 8, column A, and then enter the percentage here. So divide 4,066, and you've got 3.2%. So think of it in terms of, well, of our total income here, 3.2% is going to be Georgia's source, right? So we've got 3.2%. The standard deduction for a single filing taxpayer, $5,400. We've got the personal exemption based on our filing status is $2,700. So the total deductions and exemptions before the reduction is going to be $8,100. Now in line 13, it's asking us multiply line 12 by that ratio and enter here. So 3.2% times 8,100 is $259. So now we can take our adjusted gross income from Georgia sources, $4,066 minus $259 gives us $3,807. So now that we've got the 3807, we go back to the Form 500 and enter it on line 15A of page 3. So page 3 of the GA Form 500, line 15A, there's our $3,807. And so now we need to figure out, okay, based on that Georgia taxable income amount, how much tax are we going to have to pay? This is where the tax tables come in. So if we go to the instructions and we go down to the tax tables, we have the Georgia rate schedules here, single filing taxpayers, right? There's the married filing joint or head of household table. We're working with the first one here for single filers. And so we have $3,807 of tax or taxable income. And so our range is going to be right here, $2,250 to $3,750. So if we get out our calculator, the amount of tax that we're going to owe here is going to be $38 plus 3% of the amount over $2,250. Okay, so we've got $3,807 minus $2,250. Multiply that by 3%. And then add the $38. We have $84.7, or round up to $85 in tax. So line 16, we have the tax of $85, and the balance owed, assuming there's no other credits here, which there aren't. State credits is a popular one, but given that the taxpayer lives in Florida, he doesn't pay any Florida state income taxes. So no other state tax credits that can apply here on the same income. So the total balance owed for Jacob with this rental property in Georgia is $85 in tax. Now the income statement details here, we're not claiming any Georgia wages, right? He doesn't have any Georgia wages. It's all Florida wages, so no need to enter information on the W-2s. And so the amount of tax that he's going to owe, right? If line 22 exceeds line 27, enter the total here, and that's going to be the balance due. And so no withholding, no estimated payments were made by Jacob, so he's just going to owe the state the $85 in tax and go ahead and make that check payable to Georgia Department of Revenue, or there are options to pay online. So that covers it for this tutorial. I hope that was helpful.